The second round is up and running with the Honor Magic 4 Pro once again on the stage. In this comparison, it will be accompanied by the Dimensity 9000 version Oppo Find X5 Pro and the OnePlus 10 Pro. The Magic turned out to be better than I expected in its first test run, and it showed us that the company's decision to venture into 20 overseas markets in Europe wasn't a bad idea. With OnePlus and Oppo already being solid names in the industry, the question will be which one can outperform the other. This video is sponsored by Heka.com, a platform offering affordable and well-made gadgets, cell phones, laptops, and other electronic products. But more on that later on in the video. Let the facts speak. Notice how these photos were taken on another nice and sunny day, and you'll come to the realization how the cameras perform completely differently than when the sun isn't present. Some software works better when there's a lot of natural light, and for some, it's quite the opposite. In this comparison, the Magic 4 Pro starts out by showing us the magic in its name, by being able to dial down the brightness provided by the sun, and more often than not, having more accurate white balance than the Find X5 Pro and the OnePlus 10 Pro. I'm not saying it's perfect by any means, as the photos do tend to be a bit darker than needed, but strictly speaking about these three phones, the Magic is definitely outperforming the other two under sunny conditions. If I were to specifically talk about the other two, I personally prefer OnePlus to Oppo here because mainly the color reproduction is on point. The color of my jacket is the closest in color on the side of the 10 Pro, and the tone of the photos are generally more pleasing than the X5 Pro. Ultra-wide is pretty equal all around, as I've mentioned before. Even though these phones are all flagships, it's usually the most popular and expensive few flagship devices that put as much effort into the ultra-wide camera as they do in the main camera. In my opinion, the photos are dark, the white balance is slightly off, and if I'm not really close to the camera, then there's detail that is lost around me and my surroundings. With that being said, the performance of the Magic with regard to the rear cameras will grant it the first place finish, with the OnePlus coming in second and the Find taking third. Maybe a bit more effort put into the software could give the Honor such a big head start that the other two wouldn't be able to keep up, but unfortunately, that effort isn't there. Portrait mode is quite disappointing on the side of Honor, and surprisingly, also on the side of Oppo because we normally get good results from them in this category. However, the majority of errors we see are in the photos taken by those two, as OnePlus generally has more accurate edge detection along with managing better accuracy in terms of white balance, which makes the photos more pleasing. I think that all three phones were underwhelming in this video, but the OnePlus 10 Pro has still done a better job, which will propel it to the first place spot. The Find and the Magic have their own share of problems, and they'll be sharing second place. While we quickly move on to one of the most fun parts of these videos, the videos. This was a difficult round of observation as I'm personally stuck between Oppo and OnePlus, as Honor's video is just so warm. The second video easily goes towards the Magic, as both the Find and the 10 Pro are unnecessarily dark, while the Magic's visuals are much more enjoyable. Third video is once again a coin flip between Oppo and OnePlus, which we did experience ourselves from time to time while shooting different videos in different settings. Ultra-wide isn't the best for any of these phones either. Pretty sure I mentioned the ultra-wide dilemma on least expensive flagships before, but I'm still slightly leaning towards the OnePlus 10 Pro as it is brighter and more visible than its competition. It's quite confusing with all of the coming and going between the devices, but to be honest, they are quite inconsistent when it comes to their video quality. Overall, OnePlus and Honor have less disadvantages and they'll be tied for first place, with Oppo taking a seat right behind them. They won't be sitting down for long though, because we've got to walk down a little road here to check out how these phones use electronic image stabilization and also their active modes. Not really fond of what I'm seeing here on the Find, but the Magic and the 10 Pro looks pretty equal to me until I pay even closer attention and see that the Magic is able to remove even the smallest vibrations that are on the 10 Pro, and you'll also see that if you keep your eyes on the background, so Honor does take first here and OnePlus second. Oh man, I'm tired from all that movement. Let me check how many calories I've burned during that run on my new OnePlus smartwatch that was a gift to me from Heka.com. This thing does everything from measuring my heart rate, telling me about the weather, and counting my calories for me. I find smartwatches to be really useful in this day and age because having something that can accurately monitor your body condition with you at all times wasn't possible until this invention. As a person who likes to work out and also keep track of how many calories I've burned, this watch has been really useful for me. So Heka.com specializes in fashion and electronics products, and the prices are actually really affordable. They also do international shipping, and I recommend you click the link in the description to check what they have in store, as there are plenty of even more affordable choices than this OnePlus smartwatch. If you already have one or are interested in different things, they've also got a wide variety of affordable budget and mid-range smartphones, as well as a few flagships, all for a decent price, like I mentioned. So once again, check them out for us and see if you can find a product at a bargain price that piques your interest. You can also use our code VERSUS10 to get $10 off. Besides the comparison, we want our channel to take first place, and for this reason, a like and a subscribe is in order, guys. The Magic definitely has to protect its honor in the zoom category because similar to the S22 Ultra, it can go all the way up to 100x. Oppo isn't really going to be a contestant here, as their 2x optical and 20x max zoom starts to look grainy even before it gets to that level, and OnePlus's flagship has a 3.3x optical zoom with 30x max zoom, which faces the same problems as Oppo. 10x is where you can see the largest difference between the devices, as OnePlus is still sharp compared to Oppo but is nowhere near the quality of Honor. The difference increases the more you zoom in, and there should be no doubt in anyone's head that the Honor Magic 4 Pro is the winner of the gold medal here, with the OnePlus 10 Pro coming in second place and the Oppo Find X5 Pro taking third. Meanwhile, I'm gonna check out how close I can get to these flowers. We've once again opted to use a zoom on a 10 Pro as macro isn't available on OnePlus's newest flagship, and it does a good job as always. I could nitpick here and there, but all are similar to each other. It's also hard to judge this category because unless there are big differences, it's hard to find a consistent result. They'll be tied between each other, but definitely not for the front camera. Don't get me wrong, the photos are okay by all means. Contrast and saturation can mark some differences, but I pretty much like the quality and don't have much to complain about. Quality-wise, Honor looks to be performing better than Oppo, so they will take first and second place respectively, with OnePlus not making the cut. Moving on, slow motion will be similar to macro in this regard, as all three phones do have a lot of similar traits when lesser known and used features are put into the spotlight. Oppo and OnePlus share first place here, as they're both able to shoot at a maximum of 480 FPS, while Honor is limited to 240. On the other hand, autofocus is pretty much overall equal, as none of the phones can focus on the subject before it gets to the center of the frame, which at that point, the similarities of the devices can be seen once again. Aside from minor circumstantial differences, all three of them look to be on the same level.
Objection hearsay, Your Honor. My dog stepped on a bee. All jokes aside, this is the brand new Honor Magic 4 Pro, and over here we ordered the Oppo Find X5 Pro again with the Dimensity chip this time, and here we have the OnePlus 10 Pro, and we're checking out their audio and mic quality. Let us know in the comments which one has the best noise cancelling and which one has the general better audio quality.
Coming in with the crisp audio, which is the easiest on the ears, will be the newest flagship of OnePlus. Oppo is gonna be close behind in second place, with Honor taking third, with the upcoming night photos and videos next on the list. They look really good this time, especially on the side of Oppo. This for sure is not a surprise to me because in our comparison of this very own Oppo phone with the Galaxy and the iPhone, Oppo showed that it took great night photos, even better than the S22 Ultra in that specific video. Try to keep your focus on the white balance as well as how visible my face is in the photos, and I'm sure you'll reach the same conclusion. Honor's main issue is that there are issues with blur, which results in my facial features not being as sharp and clear as the others. Videos, on the other hand, aren't particularly impressive either, which isn't a surprise, but Oppo and OnePlus still perform better than Honor in this instance. There's quite a bit of noise in the video from the Magic, and even though the other two aren't doing the best, the videos are more watchable overall. Oppo will take the first place at night, and OnePlus will this time settle for second place. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the end of another camera comparison with the new Honor Magic 4 Pro in the spotlight. The winner is going to be none of them, as the Honor Magic 4 Pro and the OnePlus 10 Pro will be tied for first with 27 points each. Oppo managed 23 points and will take a seat right behind them. What do you think about the results? Leave a comment telling us your thoughts, and do not forget to like this video and give that subscribe button a click. See you in the next video.